The flickering fluorescent light in the old-school bathroom hummed like a distant swarm of insects, casting shadows that seemed to shift just out of sight. But it was the soft rustle, like fabric dragging across tile, that made me pause mid-step, my hand frozen on the stall door. I never believed in those stupid urban legends, the ones kids whispered about during lunch to scare each other. You know, the kind that sound ridiculous in daylight but linger in your mind when you're alone. My name is Alex, and I was just a junior at Elmwood, high an ancient brick building on the edge of town where the pipes groaned like they were alive, and the air always smelled faintly of mildew and bleach. It was one of those places where history felt heavy, the kind of school built in the 50s with creaky floors and lockers that echoed when slammed. I spent most days blending in, head down, avoiding drama. But that afternoon in late fall, with the sky outside turning a bruised gray and the wind rattling the narrow windows, everything changed. It started innocently enough. I ducked into the boys' bathroom on the second floor during study hall, the one nobody used much because it was at the end of a dim hallway lined with faded posters about anti-bullying. The air was cooler in there, almost chilly, carrying that sharp tang of industrial cleaner that stung my nostrils. I pushed open the door, and it creaked on its hinges, the sound amplified in the empty space. 3 stalls, 2 sinks with mirrors cracked at the edges, and a single window smeared with grime. I headed to the middle stall, the lock clicking into place with a metallic snap that echoed too loudly. As I sat there, the silence pressed in, broken only by the drip-drip of a faucet somewhere, then a whisper. Faint at first, like wind through a crack, but it grew clearer. Red paper or blue? The voice was soft, almost polite, with a rasp that made the hairs on my arms stand up. I froze, heart thudding in my chest. It had to be a pranksome idiot freshman hiding in the vents or something. I glanced under the stall door, but the floor was empty, tiles gleaming dully under the buzzing light. No feet, no shadows. "Hello?" I called out, my voice cracking a bit. Silence again. I shook it off, finished up, and washed my hands in water so cold it numbed my fingers. But as I looked in the mirror, I swear I saw a flicker of red in the reflection, like a cloak hem vanishing around the corner. Just my imagination, I told myself, drying my hands on my jeans and hurrying out. That night, the whisper echoed in my dreams. Red or blue? I woke up sweating, the room too quiet, the streetlight outside casting long shadows across my bedroom floor. At school the next day, I avoided that bathroom, sticking to the one near the cafeteria where kids were always coming and going. But during gym class, nature called, and the main one was locked for cleaning. Sighing, I trudged back to the second floor. The hallway felt longer this time, the air thicker, carrying a faint metallic scent like old pennies. I pushed the door open, and the light flickered once, twice, plunging the room into momentary darkness before buzzing back on. I chose the end stall this time, trying to hurry. The drip from the faucet was slower now, deliberate, like a countdown. Then the voice again, closer, right outside the door. Red paper or blue? My breath caught, a chill crawling up my spine. The temperature dropped, my skin prickling as if icy fingers brushed against it. I peered through the gap in the stall door, nothing, but the air felt heavy, oppressive, like someone was breathing just behind me. "Who's there?" I demanded, my voice echoing off the walls. No answer but a soft scrape, fabric on porcelain. I bolted out, slamming the door behind me, heart racing as I ran down the hall. In class, I couldn't focus, my mind replaying the whisper, paranoia creeping in. Was someone following me? I caught glimpses of red in the crowd, a scarf, a backpack, but nothing out of place. Yet the unease gnawed at me, a constant itch under my skin. By the third day, I was jumping at shadows. The school felt watchful, the bathrooms avoided by everyone, it seemed. Whispers in the halls about an old janitor who died years ago, something about a red coat he wore. I laughed it off with friends, but alone, doubt festered. That evening, after detention for spacing out in math, the building was empty, lights dimmed to save energy. I had to go one last time. The second-floor bathroom doors swung open with a sigh, the air inside stale and cold, smelling of damp earth now, like a grave unearthed. The light hummed louder, casting erratic shadows that danced like figures in the corners. I stepped in, and the door clicked shut behind me, locking with a finality that made my stomach drop. No stalls this time. I stood frozen as a shape materialized in the mirror. A hooded figure in a tattered red cloak, its face obscured in shadow, eyes glinting like whetstones. The voice slithered out, not a whisper anymore, but clear and insistent. Red paper or blue? The room grew frigid, frost blooming on the mirrors, my breath visible in puffs. I backed against the wall, the tile icy against my palms, heart pounding so hard it hurt. Red meant blood, slicing open blue, suffocation, turning cold and lifeless. The figure stepped closer, cloak rustling like dry leaves, the air thickening until it was hard to breathe. Paranoia exploded into terror. Was this real, or had I cracked? I didn't choose. Instead, I screamed, lunging for the door, twisting the handle until it gave. I tumbled into the hall, gasping, the whisper following me like an echo. You can't run forever. That was weeks ago. Now, every bathroom I enter, I listen for the rustle, feel the chill. And sometimes, in the quiet, I hear it again. Are ED or blue? One day, I'll have to answer. But what if there's no right choice?